Welcome back. 10-pin fans have flocked to Barnsley to see Team Europe and Team USA go head-to-head for another sensational Weber Cup. And after the Americans won last year with a record-breaking scoreline, Europe now have a point to prove. Before the break, we saw the first match, the Baker, and it was Team Europe who came out on top, taking the first win. Next up, we have the first singles match between Dominic Barrett and USA's team captain Chris Barnes. Before the event got underway, we caught up with Superman to find out a bit more about this formidable bowler.
My dad took me bowling when I was first 6 years old. It was always the other sport. So it was baseball season and I bowled, and then football season I bowled, and basketball and I bowled. So I bowled year round, but it was always kind of the other sport until I got to college. And then went from there to the national team and then to the tour. The last crowning achievement for me would be to win the Masters. And at that point I would have all 4 majors. This is my 8th year with the Weber Cup, and we had three early wins. And then there's been some relatively close matches. And then we got blown out a few years ago, and that we had revamped our team, and I think it refocused us a little bit. We took it for granted that we were just going to come in and not have such a tough time. And well, we've come in much more serious and much more prepared the last few years, and I think it showed. We always want to win. We're a highly competitive team. For medals, for tour titles, for pride, all of that's plenty for us to put everything we have out on the line every time we play.
Time for our first singles match. Representing Europe, it's Dom Barrett. And now representing Team USA, their captain, they call him Superman, it's Chris Barnes. Over to your commentators. It is Cass Edwards and Andy Bolfish.
So, the first of 4 singles matches already allocated, already arranged before the famous captain's picks at the end of this first session in the Weber Cup. Chris Barnes, American skipper, 8th participation for him. 3 singles matches last year, 3 victories. Clean through, and opens with a strike.
Yeah, can't ask for any better than that. Strikes like that early on do help you to relax a little bit, not that this man really needs that. One of the most experienced players on the American and World Tour. Stopped off at Vienna on the way to the Weber Cup here and had a pretty good tournament at one of the events on the European Tour.
Where Dom was a semi-finalist. Oh, left the 10 standing. He won't be happy with that.
Yeah, slightly different line he played than in the Baker game. Certainly a lot tighter, different angle. Gets out to that break point on about the 10th board and rips back to the pocket. But there you can see that single pin's laid flat in the gutter, leaving the 10-pin defiant to the end until the spare ball gets it. Yeah, Dom just having a look at his feet there. Maybe he got stuck a little bit on the approach. Maybe some of the lane conditioning oil has come back and he's got it on his feet, but a spare to start is not too bad.
Another strike for Barnes. 2 in a row.
Yeah, the perfect way to go, isn't it? Spare for Dom and double time for Chris Barnes. So he gets out to about 42 feet and that ball just hooks back. Trips the 4-pin in the end, but it's good enough for 2 strikes in a row. It's bonus time. It puts pressure right back on Dominic Barrett.
Responds in kind there. Yeah. Strike for Dom. Europe wanted and needed it.
Yeah, great looking shot. Much better. Chris Barnes, man in form. Went to the World Tenpin Bowling Association World Championships in Las Vegas back in July. Won a couple of gold medals in the doubles and the all events. Picked up a couple of silver medals as well. So is he on top of the world, on top of his game? Very much so.
And that's his turkey, 3 in a row.
Yes, and they all look pretty good, didn't they? So he's really lined up on this with this lane dressing. 39 feet of oil, 21 feet of back end. That's the dry part of the lane, where the ball reacts with the lane and the rotation put on the ball by the bowler, and makes it hook up in, hopefully, into the 1-3 pocket for the right-handers. That's the centre pin and the one just to the right of it. The perfect place for a right-hander's strike.
That's where Dom hopes this one's heading. Nailed it.
Yeah, pretty much just like that, and the European captain's very happy. Couple of strikes in a row for Dom. Mika's going to be up next, and here we see the slow motion replay. Just hitting that down the lane marker, that brown board that you can see. That's where Dom is wanting his ball. That's his guide. It just turns up nicely to the pocket.
Opened up with 3 strikes, Barnes, and there is another.
Yeah, great looking shot from Chris Barnes. You saw the cupped wrist that he's got before he releases that bowling ball, and as that wrist opens up, it puts rotation on the ball that reacts with the lane in the back end. So he's looking pretty cool, but who wouldn't with 4 strikes to start with?
Whether he or his team are in the ascendancy or struggling, just takes it all in his stride, does Barnes. He's laying the gauntlet down here for Dom Barrett. Well, that's 3 in a row for Dom. He's hanging on the coattails here of Barnes. And Mika Koivuniemi there, who's already replete with enough nicknames. Might be another one added. The Professor. Looks very studious, doesn't he?
With those new spectacles,
yeah.
Yes. Just come off of a huge win on the European Tour in Vienna. Barnes now looking for a 5-bagger.
Oh, yes.
Repetition is very much part of this game, as sounds a bit obvious, I know, but Chris looking very relaxed. He's got his line. He's got the rotation perfect. The speed is perfect. And so is the reaction in the back end. Sets up that chain reaction